Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unit 7. In many ways, this is the culmination of the work we've been doing the past several weeks, in that you're going to finish and turn in your argumentative essay this week. And as a reminder, hopefully I shouldn't need to remind you of this, because you've just written the introduction and you also have a couple body paragraphs from the same topic. But you need to demonstrate your ability to create a fair argument on one of these questions. We've been working with these questions since week 4. So whichever one you continue, you're going to flesh out this entire essay. I do want to briefly highlight the sort of the complete instructions and requirements here, which again, if you look here on this tab with the unit assignment argument essay for Unit 7, I'm just clicking here. That's where it is to bring up the PDF. And so essentially, if you read through this, it really details what you're to do. I'm going to provide a sample for you on Wednesday, as always, and we'll walk through that in our Wednesday video. But I just want you to be aware as you're working on this of essentially what you're asked to do here. So you're going to have that clear introduction. You're going to get feedback from me early this week on those. Monday or Tuesday, I will have those done. I want to make sure you have those. You already have the feedback from last week. I graded that last week for your introductions. You have feedback on that already, so you know whether or not you have a viable argumentative introduction, or if you have places where you need to make adjustments to go from there. And then your body paragraphs, you need to use 3 sources. If you did the Unit 4 assignment correctly, you've already used 2. So those paragraphs are fair game to insert here. We're not reinventing the wheel. Essentially, you're coming to this week 7 assignment with 3 paragraphs done already if you've completed the work up to this point, meaning you have your introduction, which you did in Unit 5. You have 2 body paragraphs that highlight 2 different sources in Unit 4. And so then you're kind of fleshing around what you've already done. You do need to have 3 reliable academic sources, and you should cite those in text appropriately. Please revisit the Purdue OWL reading resources in Unit 1 if you need to take a look at that. And then you will have a conclusion that wraps up your essay's argument. You're making a point about this. You're not recording information that's already come before you. You're using other people's sources to help support your own claims. That's important to note. Your own claim should be your thesis statement that you wrote in your argumentative introduction in Unit 5 that you're going to keep fleshing out. Okay. So as it mentioned here, so understandably, so when you wrote Unit 4, those pre-write paragraphs, they were sort of general. You want to make sure you revise those and reword it a little bit so that they are so they fit better in the context of your essay. I'll show you how to do that with my own assignment on Wednesday. Make sure you're writing in the third person, so avoid I and you and all of that, etc. And that's essentially it for this assignment. I do want to make sure that you know that it needs to be about 3 to 4 pages long. That's a requirement of this. So make sure you're getting it to be the appropriate length. All right. So, and also the cover page and the references page don't count in those 3 to 4 pages. So in other words, your document should be at minimum 5 total pages, the cover page, the 3 to 4 essay pages, and then the reference pages. So 5 to 6 pages at minimum. That way you have completed the assignment correctly. On to the earlier work, which is our discussion board for this week. You're going to focus on the topic of revision. And so obviously you all are been working, you're going to be working on the process of revision this week in terms of revising maybe your introduction after you've gotten feedback, maybe Unit 4 paragraphs as you're entering those into the context of your essay as you're creating more. So the question here is, thinking about revision, I have 2 questions to answer for your discussion board post. So what's your opinion on revision and how often do you revise that work? And then what are the dangers of not revising your work? I want you to keep this idea in mind as you're doing this. There is a difference between revision and editing. All right. And I think too many times, a lot of people think that what you're doing when you're editing is actually revision. Editing are things like, oh, I'm cleaning up my spelling errors, my grammatical mistakes, I'm proofreading it, that sort of thing. That's not revision. That's editing. Revision is where you are fundamentally changing sort of paragraphs or sentence structures or ideas, or expanding upon ideas, or inserting sources here and there, or taking sources away. You're fundamentally changing the content of the essay in revision. Editing is not revision. All right. Editing is just fixing little kind of, fine-tuning errors. Revision is rebuilding a section of your house that is collapsed. Editing is putting the finishing touches on a paint job on that section of the house. Okay, so they're different things. So keep that in mind. And then you'll respond to your two peers. And then in response, you want to pose a question about revision that you're interested in having your classmates or me answer. Okay, and how do you plan to use revision going forward? As always, your initial post is due Wednesday night, and your two follow-up replies to peers are due by Sunday night. And that's it for the week. It is a busy week. I understand that. The English staff has built this assignment so that you have it due week 7. Week unit 8 is a little lighter in a sense. This is really the culmination of that. And that's on purpose, because I want you to, let's say you turn in something this week and it's not great, right? Or it's not to your par. I can give you feedback and you can revise that and adjust it. But it's very important that you get this first initial rough draft in. That way you can take it from there. All right, so that's it for the week. We'll talk again on Wednesday. I will have your sample essay for you to peruse. Please do that. And then please reach out to me with any questions via email. Take care.